Hello everyone. Now we are going to derive the governing equation for lumped system analysis. So for this purpose we are going to consider a container. So in this container there is some fluid which is stored, and this fluid is at some temperature T infinity. Okay. Now we are also going to consider, let us say, a solid component is there. Initially the temperature of that solid component is Ti. Now because we are studying unsteady heat transfer, so we are going to immerse this solid component into this liquid suddenly. Also remember one thing, that the temperature of liquid is less than the initial temperature of this solid. Let us say this is a kind of annealing process in which a hot solid or hot metal is directly exposed to the atmospheric air, which is at a very low temperature as compared to that solid. Alright, so obviously once this solid is inside this liquid or this fluid, what will happen? It will start giving out its energy by convection. Actually same case will happen if the solid is at lower temperature and the fluid will be at higher temperature, then convection heat transfer will take place from that liquid or from that fluid to the solid. So you can consider any of the cases. Here we are considering this case where solid temperature is higher and the fluid temperature is lower, because this is a general industrial scenario. Alright, now the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to quantify this entity, the convection heat transfer, but what will be the physical effect of this? Because of this convection heat transfer, there will be change in internal energy of this solid with respect to time. The internal energy will change with time. So we will mathematically write it over here. So the change in internal energy, and by energy balance it will be equal to this heat transfer. So change in internal energy of solid will be equal to convective heat transfer or convection heat transfer. Okay, so we have identified the physics. Now we will convert it into mathematics. So change in internal energy, we simply write it as whatever is mass, specific heat, and then change in temperature with respect to change in time. Also this is actually, in this case it is decreasing, so it will be having a negative sign. Then convection heat transfer rate we can quantify using Newton's law of cooling. So it will be given as H multiplied by surface area of the solid multiplied by temperature difference. In this case, remember, T infinity will not change because the volume of that fluid will be very large, but the temperature of the solid will change with respect to time, and that's why I have written small t as the subscript over here to indicate that this temperature T is a function of time small t. And also in this case, mass and specific heat of that solid will not change with time, only its temperature will change with time, and that's why this term has come out. Okay, now what we will do, we will consider this Tt minus T infinity as a temperature difference. We will consider it as theta. So it means that this theta is equal to Tt minus T infinity. So now in this case we can differentiate this theta. So what do we get? We will differentiate it with respect to time because we are studying unsteady heat transfer. So d theta by dt will be equal to dt upon dt. Remember, the temperature can change with time, and that's why its differentiation can be done. But T infinity is not going to change with time, and that's why its differentiation will be 0. So we have proved that d theta by dt will be equal to dt by dt. We will substitute both these terms, theta in here, and instead of dt by dt over here, we will substitute d theta by d theta. So what do we get? So resubstituting, what do we get? We get minus mc into d theta by dt is equal to h as into theta. Now we can separate the relevant terms, like we can take theta on this side and we can take dt on other side. So let us see what will happen. Okay, so we will separate the terms. It will become minus mc d theta by theta. So we will take this as minus mc into d theta upon theta and has multiplied by dt on the other side. Also, what we will do, we will substitute the value of m. M is nothing but mass. So we know that mass is given as density multiplied by volume of that particular solid. So what it will look like? Actually, I will extend one step. So it will be minus rho vc d theta by dt. It will be equal to has into theta. Now we can separate the terms. So what will give it to you? Only theta on one side, everything else on the other side. So what do we get over here? We get d theta by theta will be equal to minus has upon rho vc multiplied by dt. Okay, now this is a kind of differential equation. We can integrate it so that we will obtain the equation for the entire domain, for the entire physics. So integrating. Now if you observe this d theta upon theta, this integration is as good as, actually it is similar to integration of 1 upon x with respect to x itself, and as we know its integration will be ln of x. So similarly what we can write, this will be ln of theta. On the other hand, remember heat transfer coefficient, surface area of the element, density, volume and specific heat of this solid is not going to change. It is a constant quantity. So they will come out of the integral sign. Only integration of dt will take place. It will be equal to time t. So this will be minus has upon rho vc into t plus, there will be, let us say, some constant of integration capital V. I will write it here for you. So this will be simply the constant of integration. You can use any symbol for it. You can write capital A, capital B, but not capital C. Why? Because capital C is already considered as the specific heat. So you can write C1 also, there is no problem. I have taken capital P. Okay. Now we have this equation, but we need to find out the value of this capital P also. And we know that we can find out the values of such constants of integration using either initial conditions or using boundary conditions. In this case, initial condition is available to us. Initial means when the heat transfer process or this entire process started. So at that point, what happened? When the time started for this process, the temperature of this object was Ti. So this physical condition in the beginning of the time for this process, I can write mathematically. So I can apply initial condition. So I will write the step for you. Apply initial condition to find the value of P or whatever is constant of integration. So what is the initial condition? At time t is equal to 0 means in the very beginning of this process, the temperature of the object or temperature at that particular instance of time was initial temperature Ti. Let us say it was some metal block taken out of the furnace for the annealing process. Then that was some higher temperature of that block. Ti was the initial temperature. And ultimately, if this is the initial temperature, then how much was initial temperature difference? Theta I. Theta initially, it is simply, when we say theta, theta is simply temperature at that time minus T infinity. So temperature at that time minus T infinity. So theta I will be equal to Ti minus T infinity, as simple as that. So we will substitute this initial condition in our I will call it as equation number 1. In equation number 1, remember we are doing this only to find out the value of p. Once value of p has been obtained, we will rewrite this entire equation so that it can be applied for any value of time t. So when we substitute all these condition, t is equal to 0, so this entire term will become 0 because t is 0. Then this will be, instead of theta, it will become ln of theta I, and p will be as it is. So ultimately what we get is ln of theta I is equal to p. This is the outcome that we get. So the value of p has been obtained, so we will rewrite the equation 1 because we did everything to find out the value of p. So rewriting, what do we get? Ln of theta is equal to minus HAST upon rho VC. Okay, I will correct it. Rho VC plus value of p is ln of theta I, so that will be ln of theta I. So I can take both of these terms on one side. So it will be ln of theta minus ln of theta I. We can say that, and we already know it will be equal to ln of theta upon theta I. So I will directly write it. So ultimately I can directly write like this. It is ultimately ln of theta divided by theta I, and it is equal to minus HAST upon rho VC. Okay, so now we have obtained this equation. In this case, in unsteady heat transfer, we are interested in the temperature distribution, which is indicated by this term theta upon theta I. So what we will do, we will only take this ratio on the left hand side, and we take this ln on the right hand side. So it will become, here it is natural log, so it will become the exponential or exponent over here. So what do we get over here? So ultimately this is theta upon theta I. It is equal to, so I will write these quantities in their original form. So this theta is nothing but Tt minus T infinity. So it will be Tt minus T infinity divided by this theta I, initial temperature difference, Ti minus T infinity will be exponential of this entire quantity minus HAST upon rho VC. I apologize for this rho. I will rewrite it. It will be minus HAST upon rho VC. This is the equation for temperature distribution. In case of lumped system analysis. For lumped system analysis. So the particular thing that we are going to consider in this, that we have already considered in the theory, that the temperature gradient inside this object, inside this solid, it was minimum, it was negligible, because of which we could derive this formula. Actually, we can also derive this formula, and actually we can rewrite this formula in terms of the characteristic length which is available to us. We know that the characteristic length is LC, which is nothing but volume upon surface area. This we have already studied in the basic physics of this system. So when we rewrite, I will rewrite it. So then we can rewrite the temperature distribution theta T upon theta I. It will be equal to, remember, it is V upon AS is equal to LC. So that's why AS upon V will be actually equal to 1 upon LC. So it becomes, again this will be Tt minus T infinity divided by T0 minus T infinity. Ultimately it will be exponential of minus HT upon rho C and LC. So in this way we can reduce one term in the equation, and this is the separate form of this particular equation. So I hope this lecture is useful to you. If you find it useful, you can subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get the continuous updates, as well as you can press the like icon as well. Thank you.